All right, look at this view. Crazy. Okay, I just came back from a 3-day kiting trip with my good friend Denis. We actually learned to kite in 3 days, which was absolutely sick. Absolutely stoking today. We're just gonna do a full day of kiting. We had like 3 sessions before that where we just practiced kite control on land, and then we had one trip to the same place where we went, Langebahn, where I got up and riding for a few meters. But now we actually nail it, like water starting, transitioning. Yeah, it was really fun, really cool. So officially locked in another water sport, which is really cool. And yeah, Cape Town is the perfect place for that. But yeah, I guess what I can talk about is the experience of Cape Town, because this is last week. I've now spent soon 3 months here in Cape Town. And man, what a place. It's funny because I've been traveling around and, it's hard for me to believe that there's some place that could be better than, Bali, Portugal. Like I already had a really good schedule in terms of going between Indo, Norway in the summer, and then Portugal from September to around November, back home for Christmas, and then back to Indo for the next year. But that's going to change now. Cape Town is definitely going to be the first chapter of every year. And a couple of reasons for that. Fuck, this is not really comfortable. A couple of reasons why Cape Town is probably the best place I've stayed so far. Number one is probably the ease of having a good lifestyle. So by good lifestyle, I mean a lifestyle that aligns with my long-term vision and where I want to go in life, and how I also want to live in the short term, like the short-term enjoyments of running, fitness, water sports. Like that's what I love to do outside of work, and this is absolutely perfect for that. But then also in terms of work, which this has probably been the best place I've ever worked from, because you feel so inspired. The work facilities are amazing. So we have an office in town here, and I have my own desk, my own monitor. I can just sit down and get work done. There's meeting rooms. There's this beautiful meeting room with a Table Mountain in the background where I can record my YouTube videos. And we have the cafe outside where we eat lunch and we talk business and talk ideas. It's just so perfect for actually getting things done and growing the company and doing it in a very, very fun way. And I would say this is the main, like one of the big things that makes Cape Town at least better than, I would say, Bali. Bali is a lot of fun. It's like what people say, it's like a playground for adults, and that is true. The problem with Bali is that it's too chaotic. This feels more like a city. Like you could actually live here. You're not just treated as a tourist by the locals, which is the case in Bali, and there's nothing wrong with that. But here it's you kind of have to come and experience it to see. Obviously, you do have some safety concerns and these things, but honestly, it's been totally fine. Haven't had any scary situations or anything like that. And it just took maybe a month and a half, and then we were pretty used to, just don't go out to shady streets after dark, stuff like that. It's just very obvious. We also don't go out late. Like sometimes we might sit in the office until 9:30, but we never go out late. We always go to bed early, so it's not really an issue, the safety concerns for us. Obviously, if you're into nightlife and those things, that would be probably different, but that's not the case. So yeah, Cape Town's been absolutely amazing. These 3 months has moved by so fast, and yeah, I honestly can't wait to be back. Like there's still a lot of things to see and do here outside of Cape Town as well. You do have a lot of amazing nature, and in a lot of ways this place reminds me a bit of Australia when I lived there. The vibe that you had there, like people are up in the morning, a lot of healthy people going for runs, riding their bikes, going for surfs. It's kind of the same thing here in a lot of ways. A lot of fit people, a lot of healthy people, and yeah, it's a really good energy here. Also the people actually living here, the locals, they're all super nice. It's a great vibe, and that just makes the place so much more nice to spend time when you just have good vibes around you, and yeah, just people smiling and being nice. It makes you a nicer person as well. So Cape Town, wow, it's coming to an end, but for sure I will be back and keep growing the company. In terms of company growth, this beginning of the year I did sit down and plan out the year and kind of created like a bit of a vision for how I want to spend my energy this year and what the intentions will be throughout the different seasons of the year. And this was the first quarter, and the intention was to just get very clear on the long-term vision. So my 5 and 10 year goals. I spent a lot of money on a coach to help me with this as well, and spent a lot of time thinking and writing. and it's all become very, very clear to me. And I think clarity is one thing that's very underrated. Like execution and getting things done and working hard, that's one thing, but it doesn't make any sense to work hard if you're just working on something that you will change or you will do a big pivot in just a few months down the line. Because when you have long-term clarity, that's when you can stick with something for a long time and execute on something that will compound. And compounding is such a powerful thing. When you keep working on the same thing, and skills, network, there's so many different aspects that start to compound when you stick with the same thing. And I think that's been a bit of it's a very common issue that a lot of entrepreneurs have. You lack passion in one thing and then you think, I need to switch over to this other thing. But then you realize that, the idea of it, when you're not actually doing it, you only see the good things in it. And it's almost like, it's very similar to being in a relationship when you see someone else and you start to imagine what life could be with this other person. You only think about the good stuff without the negatives, and you're totally biased. And it's the same thing with entrepreneurship. You look at another business model and you only think about the good things, so better margins, more fun to do, easier to hire for whatever, right? But at the end of the day, as all the experts do say, people that are really high up in business, they say that it all at some point comes down to the same type of issues. It's like hiring people, scaling becomes very, very similar regardless of what type of business you're in. So you're just getting clarity on that and realizing that there's no need to switch or try to find something else. Like I'm in a type of business that's really, really good, a service business, cash flow business. The only thing that I think I've changed my perspective on is like my positioning and how I position myself in this market, and get very clear on the type of service I want to do with all the AI stuff that's coming out. There's obviously a lot of things that will not be relevant anymore, so I need to pivot and take that into account in terms of the type of service that I deliver and also how I position my service. So there's been a lot of clarity created around this, and now it's just a matter of executing and sticking with it for years. And no major shifts. I would just say more clarity, more confidence in my vision, and also just a really, really good mindset. I feel dialed when it comes to the mindset thing. The beginning of this year was really hard. Some family situations, personal stuff. And despite the business, being as good as it's ever been, beginning of this year, I felt absolutely shit. Never felt that shit in a long, long time. Maybe it's burnout, maybe it was like chronic fatigue or something, but my body didn't have energy. I woke up feeling like dog shit. I didn't understand what it was. I thought it was mold, so I moved out and started staying in different hotels. I felt like I had no dopamine. I was looking around at this beautiful scenery here in Cape Town and I didn't feel anything, no happiness, no nothing, which was really hard, But now that's totally changed. I feel absolutely amazing. It's like the biochemistry is kind of come back to balance. And one of the big takeaways from these 3 months in Cape Town is that I need to live with more intentional balance. It's not to say that I can't work hard, but I do understand that one of my weaknesses is having a very obsessive personality where I can just really lean into one thing only, just working hard, just pushing myself, whipping myself to get progress, but realizing that that's not the way to go. Like sitting in the office for 12 hours a day, this hustle culture thing, it doesn't really matter. And I've unfortunately for a while I felt my own identity was kind of tied up to that hustle culture, feeling like I'm a hard worker. And that was also the case when I used to play basketball before, and I really, because I didn't have any talents, I was not really talented at basketball at all. I started leaning into what I could control, which is like working hard, and that became my identity. And I took a lot of pride and self-worth just from working hard. But that burned me out. I quit basketball. I started hating it, resenting it. And I don't want that to happen with business and entrepreneurship. So I definitely need to make sure that I stay aware of that weakness of mine and live in a more sustainable, be more kind to myself. And it's okay to work hard and push, but it's not okay to like whip myself all the way there. Because even if I get to the end goal with that approach, like just what I just experienced, like having the most growth I ever had in business, but feeling the worst maybe I felt in years. So there's that doesn't make sense to keep pushing and have monetary and business success if it comes at the expense of feeling human, So I would say that's one of the biggest takeaways from Cape Town, alongside having a lot of practical clarity on the business front. So yeah, wrapping it up here now, and then we're heading off to Bali. We'll just spend 4 weeks there, and then I'm going back home for selling my apartment in Norway, which will be interesting. But yeah, so sick 3 months, very stoked, and can't wait to be back.